Yar.
Yes, hi, hello. Welcome back to the Gooncast with your goons. I'm James, also known as Saber0307. And I'm once again joined by people who we regret our life choices with together.
Ride or die.
Absolutely. What's up, everybody? I'm Kat, aka the Attack Cat on Twitch, dialogue designer by day, writer / horror enthusiast by night.
And once again, it is your boy Lee Alder, the Valley Jester, fantasy horror writer, and man, I love when we get into this fine rhythm with the podcast of when there are two wolves inside of us, and one of them is a very, very enjoyable film, and one of them makes me want to jump off a very, very tall building.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of that,
Oh no.
no, Saber, don't put that in your body. So I'm before I tell the audience what flavor G Fuel this is.
Oh Lord.
This is a collector's edition box, and I got it specifically because of the figure. But at the same time, I'm like, well, because it comes with this tub of G Fuel, I might as well.
It comes with a toy like a box of Cracker Jack.
Yeah. It's an off topic. Just read the title.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's a Conker's Bad Fur Day Great Mighty Pooh flavored G Fuel.
Oh no.
Supposedly tastes
Saber.
like corn soda.
Don't. Okay.
So, yeah. See, you had me for a second because I thought it was going to be like, the what's the Harry Potter every flavor beans, Bernie bitch faces, whatever.
Yes.
Where they could be like vomit or dirt.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought too. Where I was like, no, please.
I was
Saber.
like, this is a bold marketing strategy.
But corn flavor, like I've had corn soup before.
Sure.
And it's good. So
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted it because I like Conker's Bad Fur Day and the meme value of buying Mighty Pooh flavored G Fuel. I linked it to Rio, and Rio was like, "I am never drinking anything called Mighty Pooh," and it's like, I don't blame you. All right, anyways, let's
Rio lacks the Constitution.
Let's get a big old gulp.
Well, we need the smell test first.
You can't.
It doesn't
seal the bit and then not go through the bit.
Well, I mean, the thing is with G Fuel when it powder, it doesn't really have too much of a smell, right?
Okay,
it's mostly water. Water and
when
powder.
it says when it's supposed to taste like corn, like does it smell like a fresh container of like ranch corn nuts, or like
really
fresh harvest corn or menudo?
No, actually, this doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste good, but it doesn't taste bad. It's just kind of more water flavored. I don't know what to say. Really.
How incredibly disappointing.
How incredibly disappointing for Mighty Pooh. Kind of like our next film.
Yeah.
Hey, segue.
Oh yeah, let's talk mighty disappointing, because oh boy.
Okay, I've mentioned this on the podcast before.
Mm-hmm.
For as much as I like to say I'm a horror fan and I write horror and I'm an enthusiast and all that, I don't like the slasher genre. I don't.
Yes. I think I mentioned mostly agreeing with you. Where like, okay, I enjoy them for like an entertainment value, but it's not something that I seek out, especially not like the more famous, like Freddy's and Jason's and, Mike Myers and stuff like that. Like where it's just like, I acknowledge that many of these films, I mean, especially the originals, were genre defining and they're good, but they're just like not exactly my cup of tea. So yeah.
I'm not immediately entertained by just a rising body count of stupid 20-somethings with a weapon wielding maniac. Like the Jasons don't do it for me. The Mike Myers certainly don't do it for me. Like okay, Nightmare's pretty good. Because Freddy's got some character, he's got some dream powers.
Yes.
You've got a Dokken soundtrack on Dream Warriors. And I don't know, there are a couple slashers I do like, but they're more maybe like monster movies, like Jeepers Creepers is a fucking banger.
Yes. I am much more of I prefer like serial killers to spree killers in terms of entertainment.
Yeah, Saw 7.
Yeah, exactly. I like the sort of more methodical, like, you know,
collector.
We're gonna follow a grizzled detective who's like at the end of their fucking rope and, you know, trying to solve this mystery as opposed to just
my favorite hero archetype is when you set the scene with grizzled detective leaning against his car in the rain in a beige trench coat.
Hell yeah. There you
like whatever
go.
ride this guy is on, oh please let him have like stage 1 cancer and he's really worried about his future. Like come on.
Yeah,
we're talking about Scream 6.
Yeah. Yeah, this is we were a little enthused with Scream 5. It was like fine, but this was a lot jankier and dumber.
Yeah. So like, okay, my expectations for a Scream movie are that they are at least somewhat clever, because the series as a whole is meant to be this like kind of a deconstruction of the genre, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and I mean, you have, you know, obviously the very famous scene from the first one where they're talking about like, oh, the rules of being in a serial killer movie. You know, you have sort of the framing device of like the first murder that happens is very much, you know, self-referential, where they're talking about scary movies, they're talking about horror movies as a horror movie is happening in front of you. And then the later movies lean into that even more with, you know, oh, the murders that have happened in Woodsboro in this fictional film that's so referential to other serial killer movies is itself becoming a serial killer movie or rather, you know, a slasher movie in the universe of the movies. So like, the Scream 5 kind of went, okay, we're gonna take, you know, Redditors who are like big fans of the film franchise and make them the new serial killers, the new the new Ghostface.
The villain is Reddit.
Yes, essentially. And it's like, okay, that, you know, that kind of works. I don't think it leaned into it as much as it could have, but like, Jack Quaid was great. The other, you know, I forget her name, but the girl who was his partner was also great. They were fun. Their reveal was entertaining.
It was also anchored by a really solid performance from David Arquette, as well as like the legacy character who was like mentoring them, because even though you still had Sydney and Gail, they weren't in the film nearly as much as Dewey, and like Sydney, I don't even think shows up until like the halfway point after.
No, she doesn't.
Full spoilers, you know, Dewey died in the previous one until his death.
Yeah. And I mean that's probably why he played such a role, and is they were like setting him up to die eventually.
Yeah, and it's fine, but like his performance was really solid, and it was like a natural evolution of the character, right? Until like the last 30 seconds of his life, when he just decided to be really, really, really dumb, and throughout years and years of experience dealing with this bullshit. But like he and Jack Quaid and Mickey Madison is her name, who played the other killer.
Yes,
they kind of elevated everybody else around them.
Yes, and like, Jenna Ortega is great. I think she's a fine actress. I liked her in Wednesday, and I liked her in the Killer Babysitter movie. His name I can't remember, but yeah, she was great. She was great in that sequel. But like, she doesn't have a lot to do in either movie. She's kind of just, you know, like just the innocent victim, sort of, so to speak.
A little bit, yeah.
They hint a little bit in 5 that she might be the killer, but like, she's not. Like, it's pretty obvious she's not. And then her sister, who arguably has one of the more interesting roles in the franchise, where she is the illegitimate daughter of Billy Loomis, and she's sort of like she learns this in the 5th movie, and then in the 6th movie, it's sort of about her kind of grappling with the fact that, like, she didn't hate killing the killers at the end of 5, so she's kind of like, maybe I do actually have it in me, which is the thing that, like, she's trying to deny that everybody else is, like, spreading the rumors about. But she's just, and I hate to say it because I don't like to be like, oh, this actor is so bad, but she's just not giving anything.
Yeah,
and maybe a lot of it is the script, maybe a lot of it is the directing, but like she's just not an entertaining character to watch.
Yeah, it's
even though conceptually she's right up my fucking alley.
Yeah, conceptually her character is strong, but just like the actual presence of the character, especially in this film, it's kind of lacking a little bit. And that's kind of like what I feel almost with all the new characters, really.
Yes.
Like they don't have the, and even some of the returning characters, like we had Hayden Panettiere come back.
Yes.
Reprising her role from Scream 4. And she just feels off.
Yes, that's the thing. Like I like Hayden Panettiere, and I liked Kirby. But the thing is, this character that she's playing in this movie does not feel like Kirby. Like they have lines where she's talking about like, oh, I'm also a fan of skate. Like, you know, she talks to like essentially the character who is her like trope equivalent, where she's the girl who really likes horror movies. And it just feels so like she's playing a character that's more tropey than her original character, and it's a trope that's not from Scream. It's just like a generic, like she's now a detective who has a connection to the previous cases, so she's gotta, and it's just like her performance just doesn't make me think of Kirby. It makes me think she's playing a completely new character, which would be fine. Yeah. Like she does a fine job. It's just that it's like, why would you bring back a legacy character and then not write her the way that she was in the, you know, and I understand it's been 15 years or whatever and characters grow, but like you need to still make it feel like the same character.
Yeah, they're on such a mission for fan service and winks and nods that they're forgetting the authenticity of the original characters.
Exactly. And I mentioned this when we were talking about it right after the movie, but it feels more like they're going through a checklist than actually having anything interesting to say about the slasher film genre.
Yeah.
Well, like they're like, this is a Scream movie, so we have to have a scene where they talk about, you know, the new rules of being in a slasher movie. We have to have a scene where this happens. It's just like we have to have a scene where Ghostface gets bodied. We have to have a scene where, you know,
It made sense in the last one because we hadn't had a Scream film in a decade.
Yeah.
So there were new things about the world of cinema and of horror that we could talk about. And the remake culture was the obvious one. And they went for it. And they did it about as well as you probably could. Like, I think it's kind of ham-fisted, but they did it. Yeah. But then this one does not seem to exist for a purpose
other than just
Scream 5.
Make a new one. Yeah, that's
right.
That's kind of
trying to take the angle of it. Oh, we're in a franchise now. It's like, really? That's what we're going with?
And it's just kind of like
the parallel that I kind of brought up after we finished this movie was the difference between Scream 1 and Scream 2 and Scream 5 and Scream 6, where it's like Scream 2 also had a very rushed production and it was churned out in a year, similar to how Scream 6 was. But from what I've heard and from what I've read and watched in terms of like videos talking about the franchise and everything like that, when Kevin Williamson pitched Scream, he pitched a trilogy of films. And he already had a basic outline at the very least for how the franchise could and would progress. So it's like there were ideas for Scream 2 already in place. Whereas this feels like the new one was a success. Yes. Let's quickly churn out a new one. Kind of like the Friday the 13th series of let's rush this shit immediately.
And that's such it's so common in Hollywood nowadays. It's just like they don't have faith in, like, I mean, and I guess it's kind of the opposite problem that the Halloween remake they had a trilogy planned, right? Or so they say.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like they had 2 movies planned.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, so there is at least some that still get like, you know, but mostly people don't even let like series live, right? Like Netflix is constantly just like, well, have the first season ready, and you know, if it's good enough, we'll renew it, but probably not. So
yeah. And also like on the subject of like returning legacy characters, because unfortunately the only other one who came back is Courtney Cox's Gale Weathers, and she's still great. She's still Gale Weathers basically. Like she still kills it. But I think part of the difference maybe between Courtney Cox and Hayden Panettiere is just the fact that this is her 6th time out, so she 100%.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
No, I know what I'm doing, basically.
Yes. And like, well, and also like they let her character still, like, they know how to write Gale Weathers.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like, it's, she has not really changed or grown as a character. She's always been the cutthroat reporter who will do anything to get a story. And she has one of my favorite moments in the movie, which is where she's like, you know, on the phone with the killer and goes, hang on. And he's like, what? And like, she hangs up and like star 69s him.
Yeah.
Which is like
very clever.
Really kind of, yeah, exactly. Really clever. And I was like, oh, yeah, nobody's done that yet.
Yeah, we got a good chuckle out of that. That was very solid. The one thing though about her character, which really irked me going into this new movie, is because the last film, it seemed like there was some fucking growth with Gale, especially at the end of the movie, where they were like, yeah, she's not going to write a book about the Woodsboro murders. She's going to write a book about Dewey and everything like that as a tribute to him. And it was like a really sweet scene. And this movie just immediately fucking undercuts it with, LOL, JK, she actually did write a book. And then she's hand waving. It's like, well, somebody was going to do it. And it's like,
yeah, and now the main characters hate her for that.
It's like, you're just recycling Scream 2 at this point.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. Like, she's solid.
But the thing is, like, they could have leaned into that more.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They didn't even make it like a self-referential thing. It just ended up being like, we don't know where to take this character, so we're just going to do the exact same thing that we did in the previous. It's almost like they're unaware of the previous movies. Is what it feels like.
It really is.
Like, where do we take the reporter character? She wrote a book anyway. Now the main characters hate her. It's like, didn't we already do that?
Yeah, and on also the subject of legacy characters, we have to discuss the fact that Neve Campbell got shafted, so there's no Sidney Prescott, and her presence is definitely severely lacking in this film. Like, it would be fine if, like, she like, turned down the role because, like, she wants to move on from the franchise or something like that, or scheduling conflicts or something. But as far as I can tell from everything that has been stated, her Paramount didn't want to pay her whatever money that she requested, which is super shitty considering that she's the face of this franchise. Like, there's a handful of instances where you have a survivor character survive in a slasher franchise for an extended period of time, right? But usually it's only a handful of films. And maybe the only other face outside of Scream that I can think of, or franchise outside of Scream that I can think of, is Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. But even then, she's left the franchise twice before coming back, and they do like a reboot, requel sort of nonsense, right? So the fact that Neve Campbell has come back time and time again for this franchise, like, give her the money she asks for, god damn it.
I feel like her presence is so sorely missed because they have done such a poor job of establishing the new line of heroes that we need to have ones we can relate to. You know, you were mentioning earlier about just like how Sam's character falls totally flat. And the rest of the fucking Scooby-Doo gang doesn't have much going for it. Like, Jenna Ortega's cool. Her character is not like abhorrent. I think she's a good actress.
She's great, yeah.
And then Mason Gooding is Chad. Chad's fucking great. I love Chad.
Yeah.
He's fun.
Everybody else is entirely forgettable. And the problem is, if you have a slasher film, or a horror film in general for that matter, the worst thing you can do for the audience is to make them feel apathetic about the leads. Either love them and want them to defeat the villain and make it out of the film alive, or hate them so much that you want the villain to win.
Yeah, I mean,
you have to take a side. I'm looking at you, Texas Chainsaw
Massacre. Yeah, that's one of the
things. Thank you for making those heroes deplorable.
God damn it.
That's one of the things that like the Friday the 13th movies and Nightmare movies get right. Even when like the movies are terrible, the leads, for the most part, the leads are still generally like likable or memorable. Like, there's probably not a horror fan who does not remember Crispin Glover's fucking stupid dance from Friday 4, right? Like, it's charming, it's weird, it's bizarre, it's memorable. It makes it stand out. And like, I like the idea of Mindy, who's Randy's niece and Chad's brother, you know, basically kind of almost filling in for being the Randy type for this. I really like that idea, but like, just she's not given enough to work with, I don't think. So it's just like, okay, she doesn't have her own persona, so to speak. She's just like a lesser Randy, because part of even what made Randy memorable is he was so over the top and cartoonish in a lot of ways.
Yes. And it's, you know, like, she tries, like, I will give her that. It's just kind of like, the movie doesn't do enough, the filmmakers don't do enough to make us really care about these characters.
And they waste Samara Weaving on the intro.
Well,
I mean, granted,
I know,
it was a callback, I know.
I know, but like, she, like, it's just, it makes me so mad because she was like the best actor in the movie, and then they're just like, well, I wouldn't say that Drew Barrymore was the best actor in Scream in the original Scream.
No, God, no.
It's just that she was very famous, and Samara Weaving is, I mean, she's, I think, probably a bigger name in horror than anybody else, but also, like, there's anybody else in Scream 6, but also there's a reason for that, because she's fucking brilliant. Like,
it's, and then I guess to get into spoilers for this movie, like, they repeat the twist of Scream 2, where the killer in this film is a blood relative of the killer from the previous movie. So in this case, it's Richie's family. And you have a really talented actor, Dermot Mulroney. I've seen him in tons of shit, and he's a good character actor. And he's fine in the movie as Cop Dad, but then when the ball drops and the twist happens, it's just over the top, but not like the fun kind. It just comes off as weird and awkward.
Yes. It's, and that's the thing, is like, Scream always has like the villain reveal, and then the villain gets to chew the scenery for like the third act. And that's great. In most of the movies, it's fucking fantastic, right? Like the original Scream, like the, you know,
Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich just chewing fucking scenery.
Awesome. Yeah, they're amazing. And then I would even argue that, like, you know, even up until Scream 5, I think you know, the two killers in Scream 5, once they're revealed, are fantastic.
Jack Quaid fucking kills it. In Scream 2, you have fucking Laurie Metcalf and Timothy Olyphant fucking killing it. In Scream 4, even 3, he's fun. 4, like, I remember when I first saw 4, I was kind of underwhelmed by Emma Roberts and Corey Culkin, but when they did their heel turn, I was into that shit.
Yes, exactly. I remember being very, like, you know, as the new Sydney, she was kind of like, oh, you know, whatever. It's a very Emma Roberts performance. But when she gets to, like, you know, become the villain, I was like, I'm in love. Like, this is great.
It was fantastic.
But yeah, this time it was, so first of all, like, the twist, the, like, unexpected, like, oh, we have to, you know, one up the previous movies, is that now there are 3 Ghostface instead of the usual 2 or 1, and it's just like, okay, guys, that's not.
It's
like that's the laziest possible way you could do.
I got moderately excited at the start of the film after the Samara Weaving death, right? As tragic as that was. Because, like, wait a minute. are we going to know who the killer is the entire fucking movie? Because that would be cool. It wouldn't be a mystery, but it would be like that Alfred Hitchcock bomb under the bus, a bomb under the table thing of just like, fuck, or Maniac, the Elijah Wood remake of that.
Yes.
Where it's like we're following a killer.
Yeah, exactly. We're following
unsettling and menacing.
And the knowledge of it is somehow worse.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And maybe we're even following both, where it's like we're following the main characters trying to figure it out, and then also this person trying not to get caught, which is one of my favorite genres.
And that could be like a really, really cool, fun twist for the franchise. But instead it's just, here's another mystery, but the mystery is just we're repeating the twist to Scream 2. So I can't wait for Scream 7 that just repeats the twist of Scream 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where we're just we're making another movie, and it's just like, okay, come on, guys.
All right. I don't want to jump too far ahead into the discussion, but I gotta bring up the moment where I felt like this movie completely jumped the shark.
Yeah.
The fucking movie theater full of props.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I get that a big running theme of this franchise is obsessive fan base and the dangers therein.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The final act of this movie takes place in an abandoned movie theater that has been turned into a shrine to the Ghostface Killer.
Yeah.
Including having all of the different noticeable, I cheered when I saw it, props and costumes and memorabilia.
Like the exact evidence that somehow,
the fucking evidence.
Like, sure, Cop Dad is a cop, and he's the mastermind of this thing. But, and sure, serial killer memorabilia is a real thing. But, no, most of that should be fucking locked away in goddamn evidence lockers.
Yeah, they wave
or
it
some other
away
places.
with, things disappear from evidence rooms all the time. And it's like, if every piece of evidence related to a particular string of mass killings disappeared, there would be rigorous investigations to find out what happened to that shit.
And the thing is this is just like a sillier repeat of Scream 3 to an extent, because Scream 3 has a bunch of replica shit of the stuff from Scream 1 and Scream 2, but the thing is, those are Hollywood replicas because they're filming a movie about Scream.
Nope, these got DNA in them, son.
Yeah, these still have the blood stains.
These got hair in them?
Yep.
And it's like, come on now.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like when Sam Carpenter sees Billy Loomis's mask, they're treating it like fucking Darth Vader's helmet.
That was the exact comparison I made in my head.
It's so bad.
And it's not even done done ironically. It's not even done with like a little cheeky like wink. It's played completely straight in a way that's just like, this is not Scream, guys.
Yeah, I've been mulling it over for the past few days since we watched the movie, and like my gut reaction watching this movie was it was better than Scream 3. But after mulling it over more, I'm gonna give it to Scream 3 because Scream 3 still has Neve Campbell, and it fucking still has Dewey, and it still has Wes Craven's direction, and it has fucking McDreamy as the cop, and he's fun, and it has a bunch of really, really solid, character actors giving in solid performances, and nobody feels like the plot is dumb. It's really fucking bad. But it's a better and more entertaining movie than this. And it's really, really disappointing, since I thought that the previous Scream was fine outside of Dewey's death being dumb. I liked Ready or Not a hell of a lot, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, Ready. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like you take an original horror director and you shove him at a franchise, and it's just like, this is not what we want. This is not what we as an audience want. I would have much rather seen them fund another film from this guy.
Yeah.
That was, an original screen. Like, Ready or Not, I enjoyed a lot. I thought it had some missteps, but overall a very solid horror movie.
Yeah.
And I actually, I correctly predicted how it was going to end. So mild spoilers for Ready or Not. If Lee, I don't know if you've seen the movie, but...
Oh, I've seen it.
Okay.
I liked it.
I made a joke at the very beginning of the movie that it was going to end with all of them exploding.
Wow. Good call.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I was just like, oh.
Jesus, that's...
Yeah. And yeah, the thing is, because I had fallen asleep in the middle of the movie when we were watching it before, and so Will finished the movie and was like, how the fuck did you know that was gonna happen?
That's a good fucking call.
Yeah, and then I finished watching it and was just like, oh,
yeah,
I'm a natural.
Yeah. I mean, it was great. I think it. Yeah, that part was a little more comedy than I think the rest of the movie really indicated. Although, again, Samara Weaving is just like
she's great.
She's fucking funny, and she's a great horror protagonist. So
yeah,
she can scream with the best of them.
Absolutely.
Just stay out of Scream.
Yeah, yes, just stay out of Scream.
Yeah,
this movie kind of solidified for me, and I guess it's kind of my encapsulating thought on it, is it has become the very thing it was trying to be satire of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's really accurate. I have never been disappointed in a third act of a Scream movie. And so this was a major letdown for that reason. Because not only was it, just that the reveal of that it's 3 killers was really underwhelming. I think also the reveal that the whole Jack Quaid's family was like, okay, yeah, it's Scream 2 again. But that's fine. But I think the, cop dad I was a little suspicious of. Cop dad's daughter I was mega suspicious of, because one, there was that scene where they're going through who's suspects, and cop dad was like, well, I can vouch for my daughter, and I was like,
yeah. And then
okay, and then her death scene mostly happens off screen.
And that was my big clue in. It was like, she's the killer. Because
you do see a body, quote unquote. A bloody person gets thrown out the room, and they think it's her, and then they end up basically hand waving that away as
I'm a dad, a grieving dad, swap the bodies.
And I was in mourning, so they just let me be in the crime scene by myself, and it's just
Jesus Christ.
I don't know about that, guys, but
it was really, really a big, ginormous, colossal fucking stretch.
Oh, and then also her brother, who we don't know is her brother, but he's part of the friend group. He's Chad's roommate. When he's revealed, he has a whole speech about, because he's the one who was like, am I gonna die a virgin? And then he has a whole speech about how it felt really good to kill Chad because he's this alpha male who's actually named Chad, and I was just
Chad.
And I was just like, I want to turn off the movie.
Yeah, it was.
I'm just
it's very dumb. It's
the guy who was so obviously a killer that I didn't think for a minute they would actually make him the killer.
Yeah, same. Where it was just and even the characters were it's obviously you for the majority of the movie. So it was just guys, this isn't even interesting.
They even tried to turn it into a joke where Mindy gets stabbed, she's like, I got it wrong again.
Yeah, and it's just that at least is kind of harkening back to the original Scream in a way that's I feel like that's something Randy would have done, but also yeah, it's just that doesn't make the reveal more compelling.
Oh yeah, no,
or
if he wasn't the killer, if they cut him, if he just wasn't the killer, I would have been fine with him.
Yes,
because it's
and
it's misdirection.
That joke would have landed, yeah.
But because of the fact that he is the killer, that joke is now retroactively tainted.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't enhance the movie when you learn, like, you know, we were talking about this yesterday because we introduced a bunch of people to Malignant, and Malignant does a really good job where even if you see the twist coming, and even once you know the twist, the movie is still super fun because it doesn't hinge on that twist. There's more to the movie than just the reveal that Gabriel's on the back of her head. You know, it's like, but this movie is just like, oh, like, I got it wrong, then suddenly becomes not a good joke when you know the twist. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, there's...
It's really upsetting and really annoying and very disheartening that, like, the franchise is, it's, I guess to like, you see this a lot in Hollywood where something exists long enough that it becomes the thing it was kind of parroting or whatever. Like,
right.
The Simpsons is the biggest example, right? Where it's become, it used to be like joking about and making fun of the status quo, and it has now become what it used to make fun of, right? And that's basically what Scream 6 is in a nutshell, where it just feels redundant, basically, which is really upsetting. They're making a 7th. It fucking made the 6th made gangbusters, my dude.
No, this movie, without cracking a fucking smirk, had a crowd of people chanting "Evil dies tonight." This movie can fuck right off.
But Lee, evil doesn't die tonight. Evil rises tonight. Segue!
Segue, baby! Oh my god!
I don't want to talk about fucking Scream anymore. I want to talk about fucking goddamn Evil Dead Rise, baby.
Hell yeah!
Thank you for the unintentional segue.
Oh my god!
Hold on, where's my button? I have it here. Yeah, here we go.
So that's our second movie. Oh my god!
Surprise!
That's our.
I'm the devil.
God damn it, Zach Baggins.
Anyways, our second thing is Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah. Okay.
I fucking adore this movie.
Yeah.
This movie slaps.
Like, genuinely, I think we have nothing but good things to say about this. So, like, well, maybe there's like one or two things we can complain about, but
I'm still gonna remain as constructive as possible.
Yes, exactly. But in general,
unabashedly, I love this fucking movie.
Yeah, comparatively, and also just like in general, it's honestly probably my favorite Evil Dead movie.
It is my favorite Evil Dead movie.
Yeah, like, because okay, so I mean, I guess we can kind of maybe start with like our sort of like introductions to the franchise, or our feelings on the franchise.
Yeah, that's a good move, because when it comes to Evil Dead purists, what we just said might be sacrilege.
Exactly. So my my introduction to the franchise was actually Army of Darkness. which is kind of insane. I had a boyfriend in high school or college, I think, who he was just like I want to show you this movie, and we watched it, and I was just like, okay, I didn't like that, which
I don't get it, and you're weird, and I don't want to hang out anymore.
Exactly. It was very much a like, if you're coming in completely blind, you don't fucking know what to expect, and you're told like this is a horror franchise, and suddenly you're greeted with like fucking slapstick like skeleton armies.
Yeah,
you're just like, okay, this is not the vibe.
No, you were sold on a horror movie, and you got Three Stooges.
Exactly.
And I mean that's I blame your boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
No.
He was
bad.
No, he did a bad. This was also the same guy that thought a good date movie was Old Boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the first movie I showed Krista when we started dating was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Okay, I mean, at least there's not like father-daughter rape in that movie, so
true.
I
mean, it is about the inevitability of love's withering, but
okay, fair.
But yes, there is no incestuous rape in it.
Yes. But but then I watched the first movie with one of my college friends, who we were both like, we want to see a bunch of good horror movies, And the tree rape scene was like the deal breaker for me, where I was just like, I hated that scene so much. And according to James, you told me this, was that the director does regret that scene.
Yeah, Sam Raimi has said multiple times that they went too far and it kind of sucked the fun out of the movie. And if he could get back,
exactly, it sucked the fun out for me very much. And like, I appreciate though that, like, because a lot of directors who do that kind of thing definitely like double down on it, where they're like, no, there was a super artistic reason why I had to include violent graphic rape in my movie. And you're just like, okay guys, cool. But so it's nice to hear that, like, even though like Raimi is kind of known for that sort of like shock horror, thing, that even he's like, no, that was not cool.
Yeah, I dug up his exact quote. He goes, "I think it was unnecessary, gratuitous, and a little too brutal. My goal is not to offend people. It is to entertain, thrill, and scare, make them laugh, not to offend them. I think my judgment was a little wrong at the time."
Yeah,
fair.
And it's like, it's a fair take, and it's like I understand probably the mentality as to why it was thrown in. It's your first feature film. You're making a schlocky horror movie.
Exactly. That was kind of the bread and butter of schlocky horror movies at the time he was making them. So like, I don't blame him at all. It's just that I didn't like it.
And
I wrote all
totally
kinds of edgy shit when I was in my late teens fan fiction phase.
Yes, exactly.
I wrote all kinds of edgy shit for RPG Maker.
I wrote a fucking Manhunt fan fiction. That's the edgiest shit you can do, man.
Yeah. I've definitely written my share of edgy shit, but it's very. Yeah, so I don't blame anybody for that, but I do appreciate people not doubling down, and and that's actually why I ended up preferring the remake, the Evil Dead remake, because that scene is very much toned down.
It's toned down, and it's more implied that it's like her psychological state, like it's in her mind only.
Yes, exactly. It's not a straight up shot of that's basically my like knowledge of the franchise is sort of, I like it as a horror concept, but I haven't really dug many of the movies until this one. And this was the one that was like, and also I love what's his name? Bruce. I love Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell's fantastic.
Bruce Campbell's amazing. But it almost does feel like there are two sides to Evil Dead, where like one is like this straight up, it's strictly horror.
Oh yes.
And then one is he's going after the the Deadites in this very slapstick kind of fashion.
So like,
which I've never gelled with, but I dig him as an actor, and I dig his comedy chops. So.
Yeah, the first film, a lot of the horror gags, especially like when Ash is alone, are literally just twists and like homages to the Three Stooges, because Sam Raimi's like a huge Three Stooges fan. Like I think specifically A Plumbing We Will Go, where like blood is coming out of the pipes, or like blood is like filling up the light bulb. So it's like, it's scary, but it's like, that's kind of where Sam Raimi's kind of like mentality is. And like with Evil Dead 2,
I can see that in most of his other films. Yeah,
and like Evil Dead 2 and 3, I believe he had additional like his friends helping him co-write, who are also much more in tune with like that comedic sense. So they were like, as he established his voice, he was like, let's make this sillier, let's just have fun. Because the first Evil Dead was also a fucking nightmare to film. It took, I think, like 2 or 3 years across multiple different locations, and like by the end of shoot, like half the cast just was unavailable or quit. So like at the end of the movie, there's a credit section which is just fake shemps, and these are all of the people who put on Deadite makeup or character costumes to stand in for another actor. Because the only one who was on set the entire fucking time is Bruce Campbell. Like, the entire basement sequence, like, there was no basement in that cabin. So it's like, they cut a hole to make it look like a basement, and then, like, every single time they're in a basement, it's, like, another location. Like, I think Sam Raimi's garage dressed to look like a basement or something like that. And it was, like, a fucking nightmare shoot, and I think that kind of maybe made Sam Raimi want to do more visual comedy stuff as opposed to like straight horror. I don't know. I'm just theorizing at that point, but There are definitely two sides of the franchise of just like the first movie, which has some dark comedy to it, and then the remake and Evil Dead Rise, where they're kind of going after the tone of the first movie as like a serious horror movie with some dark comedy. And then Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and Ash vs. Evil Dead, which is a comedy, comedy with horror elements, basically.
Exactly. Which, I mean, not to say that this movie doesn't have comedy elements.
Oh, yeah, this is tons of dark humor. It's great. Yeah. I love it.
Oh, but before we get into that, Lee and James, your exposure to the franchise.
Mine was also Army of Darkness first. My pops showed it to me when he was just watching it on TV one day, and I walked in during which scene was it? I think it was I walked in when Ash is dealing with the 3 Necronomicons and like stretching his face out and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this dumb shit? And I'm, you know, I'm a kid, and my dad raised me on all kinds of ultra violence, and he's like, oh yeah, pull up a seat, check this shit out. And I'm like, this is dumb, and it scratched my kid brain, and I'm like, I like this weird giant chin with a shotgun and a chainsaw fighting googly-eyed skeletons. Like, this rules. Oh, this is a series? Awesome. And then I watched Evil Dead 1 and went, what the fuck? Like, here's part of my disclaimer, I guess, coming from the guy who also just said, meow, meow, I don't like slasher movies. I also don't like horror comedies. The one gigantic exception is Cabin in the Woods, which I think is one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Wait a second. What about Reanimator?
Reanimator's good. I like Reanimator.
Okay.
Nothing against it. Just,
right,
you know,
cool.
it... I just don't like it as a genre. Like,
yes, I agree.
Even if I can watch a horror comedy and go, hey, that was good, like, it doesn't mean I'm interested. Like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, fine movie. I have no desire to ever watch it again. Drag Me to Hell, like, again, no desire to ever watch it again.
I think I agree with you, because I think my taste in horror comedy is very specific. Like, I feel like it has to still take itself seriously as a whole. Like, I think Reanimator is like the perfect blend of it, because it takes itself seriously enough, but then there's a lot of goofy shit going on. There's a lot of like one-liners, or like, you know, like,
Reanimator works in the same way for me that the first Return of the Living Dead does.
Exactly.
Like, this is a dumb fucking movie, and it's not taking itself seriously, but it's still trying to do like the zombie outbreak.
Exactly.
You know, high stakes.
Yeah, it's still trying, you know, like,
to they've got the
rip off Frankenstein, but
right, like, where they've got the scene where they've got the half zombie strapped to the table, and its spinal cord is whipping around really stupidly, and it's like, oh, this is goofy. And then the zombie just looks at one of the survivors and says, I can feel myself. And you're like, oh, shit.
I can feel myself, right, yeah. It's gnarly. Not to mention, too, it's like, there's a lot of little details in that particular scene, like the spinal fluid leaking out of the torso. It's fucking gnarly.
It's like, you know, you've got the paramedics show up, and the zombies run out of the trees in an ambush and completely dismember them. And you're like, oh man, the survivors are so fucked. And then one of the ghouls grabs the radio and goes,
send more
paramedics. Like, oh, they're playing the system. Go, get in there.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
So I got into the Evil Dead franchise because of Army of Darkness. And then just kind of went like, this is a weird kind of series. Like, tonally I was super confused, and at the end of the day I just tried not to give it too much thought, because there were aspects of it that I really liked, but I didn't like it enough to get into any of the side material. I didn't watch any of Ash vs. Evil Dead. I never played any of the games. I watched the first one a fair amount. I watched the second one an okay amount. Army of Darkness I watched a lot as a kid, and then just never gave it the time of day as I got older.
Did you see the remake?
I was just kind of like shrug about the remake. It was fine. I didn't have any like strong opinions on it. I thought it was a more serious, cool direction to take it in.
Yes, yeah.
But it just still didn't scratch me the right way. So that's the first thing that struck me about this one.
I'm kind of surprised how much you and I align on.
Yeah,
on
no,
this
we're
franchise.
kind of like right there.
Yeah, and I feel like James is like the complete opposite.
Oh, I'm 100% the dissenting opinion here.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. No, that's beautiful. No, and that's the last thing I'll say on it before I throw it over to Sabs is when I saw the trailer for this movie, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
I saw it and went, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember people
it was actually it was the first time I felt like an old, like, pearl clutching, like, I went, wow, this trailer's a little much.
Oh.
Like, wow,
okay.
they get away with a lot in trailers these days. Like, the scene of, like, swallowing glass was in the trailer. And I'm like, holy shit.
Red Band, you can get away with so much shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, I was just kind of like, I mean, I'll watch it because it's the new hotness. It's the new Evil Dead. And there's some aspects of it that I think look pretty cool, but I definitely had zero bias going in because of love for the franchise.
Exactly.
Now, Mr. Dissenting Opinion. Drink a big gulp of your mighty poo and tell us how you got into Evil Dead.
I already finished it.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I got rid of it. It started to taste more corny as I was.
Put it in the toilet where it belongs.
Yeah, no, whatever. But I don't.
It does taste corny?
Yeah. I don't know which I saw first. I know I saw them as a kid because my dad is a big Sam Raimi fan and a big Evil Dead fan. I saw either Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead 3 first. Army of Darkness. I did not see Evil Dead 1 until I was like a teenager. I think my dad was like, no on that one because it's so much more grotesque and violent and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whereas Evil Dead 2 is much sillier, and then Army of Darkness is fucking comedic, I love this franchise, even though, I have qualms with it. Like, the first is very dated and very cheesy, although that's part of the charm. And there's, of course, the infamous tree scene, which is very off-putting and uncomfortable. Evil Dead 2 is one of my favorite films of all time. It might not be in the top 10, but I fucking love that movie. A lot of the visual gags in it. I think part of the reason why I'm also, I like the concept of horror comedy when it's done well. A comedy is, a notoriously difficult genre to do in the first place. I think part of that stems from the fact that, when I was younger, a lot of, the material that I was exposed to as, a wee baby boy, 4 or 5, was, the Universal Monster movies and also, Abbott and Costello films. So, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, where it's just 1940 style slapstick mixed with Dracula and Frankenstein and Wolfman and all that punny dialogue and witty banter. So I like the aspect of that a lot. I've never played any of the Evil Dead games. I have watched all of Ash vs. Evil Dead, and I really wish that it had a proper series finale because Starz kind of canceled it. And I know Bruce Campbell said he's basically retired from Ash because he's too fucking old. And there's probably not going to be another, instance of Ash coming back, but I do wish he actually had a, bit of closure, because Ash vs. Evil Dead kind of ends on almost like a cliffhanger, so to speak. Although Ash vs. Evil Dead probably does have, my single favorite scene in the franchise, just in terms of slapstick comedy and absurdist horror. I really like the remake. There isn't an entry in this franchise that I don't like. Although, I said, I haven't played any of the video games. And I fucking adore Bruce Campbell, and I love any single chance I get to watch that asshole mug it up, basically. I don't know if either of you two have seen it, but, there's another Bruce Campbell joint from, the mid-2000s called Bubba Hotep. Where Bruce Campbell,
I do know of it, but I have not seen it.
Bruce Campbell is playing Elvis Presley. in an old folks home where he actually swapped places with an impersonator, and it's the impersonator who died, and he's just been living a quiet life, and he's now in an old folks home, and he partners up with JFK, who's played by Ozzie Davis, and they have to take on a mummy, and I love it. It's fun, stupid horror schlocky comedy, so that's kind of like my general angle. But I fucking loved Evil Dead Rise. This is probably, at least in terms of the films, probably my second favorite entry in the Evil Dead franchise.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a damn fun movie. And
okay. How do we dive into this thing?
I guess my one criticism about it, I don't like the wraparound, the opening prologue, and the whole thing at the cabin.
It's unnecessary.
Because it's unnecessary, and it feels so disconnected from the plot just to try to get like more kills. Like I was really waiting for that to somehow tie into the movie
to like pay off.
Yeah. And it felt more like
it does. It does tie in.
It does, but like not, at least not for me, in like a satisfying way.
Yeah,
for sure. It almost feels like a short film that they stuck on the front of the movie, right?
Yeah.
Or it could have been a prologue chapter to explain how the book got to the apartment. But instead it's just, no, this is literally what happens tomorrow, and with another group of people. And I'm like, okay, like, I mean, it's on its own, I like it, but like in the greater sum of the movie, I'm like, this entire scene could have been cut, basically.
Yeah, I get that.
Other than that, though, I fucking adore the movie.
It succeeded in doing something that I like to see still be a constant in a lot of horror movies when it can be pulled off effectively, and that's, with the exception of a couple scenes, which I'll get into, it's one setting horror. Like,
yes.
90% of this movie takes place in the apartment.
Which is a very fun genre to be in.
And it's, and that's like, kind of hearkening to Evil Dead almost entirely taking place in the cabin, with the exception of like driving to it or, trying to escape into the woods. Like, it takes place in the cabin.
Yeah.
And this confines all the cool little shit that goes on and all the... It makes you stretch out your imagination as far as how can we keep upping the ante and the stakes without the location needing to, play into that equation.
Yeah.
And of course, they've got the escape attempts into the hallway or the elevator, and the third act, ends in the garage. But like, other than that, the entire thing takes place in the apartment. And I love when you can take something really simple like that, of just like, take a bunch of people, throw them into a fucking box with something evil.
Yep.
And just go.
Yep. Yeah.
And like I was saying in Scream, like, when you have a cast of characters that you just don't give a shit about, it falls flat.
Yes.
From the get-go, everybody we get given in this house, in this apartment, within 10 seconds, I'm like, I want this handful to live and I want this other handful to suffer.
Yes.
And I don't need good reasons for why they need to suffer. I'm sure the young man who wants to be a DJ, Nighttime Dan, I'm sure he's a sweet young boy. But good God, I couldn't wait for him to be eviscerated.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I see little girl, I'm just like, oh, don't just protect her. I want her to get a body count.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's the thing. We talked about, like, okay, really hoping this franchise does not do the thing that most horror franchises do, or modern horror franchises, where like the kids are untouchable, therefore you feel no sense of danger when they're around. Like, they keep just barely getting out of the way of like the fucking monster claws or something like that.
Yo, if you like child murder, I got a movie for you.
Yeah, this is diving into some Lucio Fulci shit. It's like, oh, it's a kid. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Eat shit, you're dead.
Yeah, they're like, no, like we're gonna like there's a teenage boy that gets his arms fucking ripped off and like beaten to death with them. And like
you think they're gonna get it off camera? No, you're gonna watch.
Yeah, somebody gets their some I don't think he was a kid, but somebody gets their eyes pulled out and like and then with the little girl, she doesn't die, but she's forced to kill her sister. Who has gotten I think the sister the sister's the first one who turns after the mom, right?
Yeah, and then people who haven't seen the series, possessions are the core of this story.
Yeah. So she gets bitten or like something happens to her face. She ends up with a face wound. But then gets like
the tattoo gun. The mom stabs the tattoo gun into her head and then stabs it into the daughter's face.
Yes, that's right. And so then now she's infected and she slowly starts turning. She, I think, ends up being the one who kills Nighttime Dan, who will only be referred to as that.
Yeah,
because he doesn't turn. Or he doesn't
does
turn
eventually,
before he's dead though. He dies and then turns.
Correct.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's turning as she's still alive. She's the one who's eating glass, and it ends up being that the little sister is the one who gets the Chekhov's gun scissors under the couch, and has to stab her deadite sister to re-death, undeath. I don't know, whatever you call it.
Double death.
Yeah.
The re-deathening.
So not dead, but traumatized, and that's how we like them in these movies.
No, yeah.
That's what turns them into heroes in a future installment.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's one of the things that I do, like, as a greater whole, appreciate about this franchise, even like the remake and also this new sequel. Even though they're all interconnected, and it's like the remake is more of a remake will, and it's like this movie solidifies that, like as Lee mentioned, the 3 Necronomicons. That's a vital part of the franchise now that there's at least 3 of them, and that explains how the remake exists and Evil Dead Rise exists. But our heroes get the ever-loving shit kicked out of them.
Everybody suffers.
It originates with Sam Raimi putting Bruce Campbell through hell and like, hey, let's make a lot of slapstick physical comedy of like beating the shit out of this character. But Jane Levy in the remake gets the shit kicked out of her in Evil Dead Rise. Our Beth, I believe, is our protagonist's name. And the little girl are traumatized and get the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah, Beth and Cassie.
Yeah, Beth has to shove her own sister into a wood chipper as she's
it's her sister, mother, brother, because they're all in that Legion 4.
Well, yes, that's true. The Rat King at the end.
The Rat King.
Beautiful, yeah. Love a good movie that ends in a Rat King.
There's some fun buddy horror.
Well, I mean, it's only 2, but I guess Colorado Space also has a Rat King.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it.
We need more Rat Kings.
We do need more Rat Kings. Yeah.
Give me more Legion.
There was a like fungus deep underground movie. It was like Russian. It was redubbed. It had a Rat King in it, which was glorious.
Check that out.
I think
you find the weirdest shit.
Yeah. Yeah. This was one where it was on. It's very weird because I think it was like redubbed. But like so all the lines are ADR'd, so a lot of times like the lips don't match, but like it looks like they're still speaking English. So it's like it's a very strange looking movie for that reason. But I think it was like originally like it's like Russian or like something. But yeah, it was fun.
Nice.
I'll find the name of it for you.
Hell yeah, please do.
But yeah, the one of the things I wanted to mention is that like there is a theme of motherhood in this movie that's like really well done. Like it's not super in your face. It's not
it's tactful.
Yeah, exactly. It's tactful because Beth finds out she's pregnant at the beginning of the movie, and then is kind of like sort of grappling she's grappling with that while trying to rescue her sister, who is a single mom to these 3 kids, who she's a great aunt to, but like she's not sure that she can be a mom. And I think there's there's a couple of instances where like I think the little girl mentions like, you're gonna be a good mom because you know how to lie to kids. like it's like where she's telling her like she's gonna be fine, and she's like, no, I'm not.
She's also a equipment technician for music groups, and that gets actually worked into the plot as to how she can like listen to more of the record to try to hopefully figure out how to stop this shit. Like it's very very solid reincorporation of like a specific skill set, and it doesn't come out of fucking nowhere. Like it's like it makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I love when those little breadcrumbs eventually pan out. Like, what a movie I've gushed about shamelessly on the podcast before. My favorite movie about motherly love, Aliens.
Yes, I was going to say it's very Aliens-esque without being a direct 1-to-1 where like the Deadites are also mothers somehow. But
but like we established that like, okay, so our main character has grown a lot since the first film, but at the end of the day, she was just fucking like basically a cargo worker. That's all she did. She used to be a flight officer, and that she got barred from doing that, so she just did fucking space dock work. And so at the final fight of the movie, she climbs into the power suit that is used by the dock workers, basically. Like, that thing you told us earlier that we know she can do, it's now got a purpose.
She's doing it in the movie to solve the main problem of the movie.
The issue.
Yeah. That shit is great.
It's fantastic.
In that same vein, I feel like the thing I really want to highlight on this movie, surprisingly, like, isn't the visuals or anything, which were stunning. It was a very well shot, atmospheric movie.
Yeah, cinematography was top notch.
Makeup was fucking stellar. The performances were fucking brilliant. Alyssa Sutherland as the possessed mom, Ellie, is one of just like the most fun scenery chewing monsters in years.
She does such a good job. Also, there's I'm gonna say there's a lot of special effects where I'm not entirely sure how they did it. Like specifically, I'm thinking of when the daughter starts like crying blood. Right, like where it's like black, like viscous fluid coming out of her like eyes and mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm genuinely like, how did they do that without hurting the actor? Like
yeah.
Because it's just like this looks too real to be CGI.
Yeah.
But
if it is CGI, it's hella good CGI.
If it's CGI, it's amazing CGI. But if it's not CGI, I'm like, how does this even work practically? Like, and I'm just like fascinated by that. And there was a similar effect on the possessed mom too, that I was just like, wow, like I can't, because like it's like stuff where it's like moving with her in real time, and it's just like I can't imagine like this if it's CGI, it's amazing, and if it's practical, what the fuck is it?
And it does a thing that I like, where the trailer showed it off to me, and again I was just kind of apathetic about the trailer, because one of the first things they show you once she's possessed is the shot of her jumping out of the bathtub and doing big wide-jawed monster scream, and I went, oh fuck, here we go again with the grave encounters screaming face. But then that bone-chilling line where she drops her voice and mommy's with the maggots now, it's like, oh shit, okay, that's what I like. I like when, if we're dealing with what are supposed to be demons, demons, they don't need to roar and stomp around and make a big fucking scene. They are eternal. They are timeless. They used to be angels, so they're jaded. Yeah. They can just say in a very even tone shit that will haunt you to your core. And I like when that approach happens. My favorite depiction of the devil in movies is Viggo Mortensen in The Prophecy with Christopher Walken, where he's just dressed in a black suit. He's just dapper. He's in it for like 5 minutes and steals the whole fucking movie from a scenery chewing Christopher Walken, which is difficult. But he's got this line where he says to Walken, who's playing Gabriel, the Angel of Death, he just says, your war, Gabriel, is arrogance. Arrogance is evil. And then leans really close. That's mine. And it's just like, oh shit. Like,
hell yeah.
Get off my screen, you sexy man. I don't want to stare at your evil anymore.
Yeah, that's like one of my
He can fix me.
I can fix the devil.
A lot of people kind of.
Why would you want to?
A lot of people kind of shit on the movie for being boring, but I personally am a big fan of the Paul Schrader Exorcist prequel, Dominion.
Oh,
especially with how it portrays the devil, because like one of the big things that Paul Schrader wanted to do when he was making his prequel, and it wound up backfiring for him with the studio, because he flat out told them what he wanted to do, and they were like, yeah, that's cool. And he was like, I don't want to remake The Exorcist. I want to do something different. Like, I don't want to just copy paste, gratuitous swearing and head spinning and all that other shit.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, that's fine. And then of course when he turns in the film, like, no, we want you to just do The Exorcist again. Is like when the demon fully takes on or like fully possesses the kid in that movie, right? The demon's first line is just in like this, if I recall, like an angelic voice almost, is just, I am perfection. And like, that's
cool.
Fucking haunting. And it's not like some gratuitous swearing bullshit, like just vulgarity or whatever. Just,
I'm gonna shove your cock in your ear.
Yeah, or like, the Grave Encounter screaming devil face or whatever. It's something unique and interesting and much more potentially disturbing than just gratuitous vulgarity,
Good writing is scarier than vulgarity every time.
Absolutely.
Vulgarity can be fun, but like you gotta do it just the right way. Otherwise, it's like this is a little edgy. This is a little too try-hardy. And I think this movie with, and even Evil Dead remake. Granted, the Deadites, of course, can be vulgar, but like they'll have moments where they're just trying to fuck you up psychologically, as opposed to just vulgarity and whatnot.
There's a line that Ellie has when she's possessed that's so fucking evil. She's got her sister pinned down, I think, and it's when she realizes that she's pregnant and says, Beth says to her, Ellie, she's trying to like get through to her, and the demon says, Ellie's in hell with, Ellie's in hell waiting for you with your unborn bastard baby. Like, oh fuck, that's that's so good.
There's even like a moment in like going back to Evil Dead remake, right, where our Ash stand-in before we get Mia as the actual final girl protagonist, because she's possessed in that movie. He's trying to like basically, save her or whatever, and she's just like, why do you hate me, David? In like this demonic voice, and just trying to get into his head of like, you disappointed me. You left me alone. You're the reason why all this shit is happening. And that's far more effective than just like, I'm gonna suck your cock and then anal fist you.
Yes.
And it's like
my favorite scene from Hellraiser was when the box opened and the Hell Priest come through and says, I'm gonna suck your cock.
Yeah. I'm gonna fist your ass like a sock puppet.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's again, vulgarity can work, and Evil Dead is it does plenty of vulgar shit. Again, sometimes for comedic effect. Like I mentioned, my favorite scene in Ash vs. Evil Dead is Ash fighting a cadaver. Specifically I think it's the intestines that are coming out of the cadaver, and the cadaver ends up dragging Ash's head up the fucking corpse's butt. So he's just wearing this corpse as a hat, basically. And of course, the corpse is a fucking cock ring and everything like that. Like, they're going all over the top with, like, gross vulgarity and stuff like that. And it's like, it's effective in a comedic moment, and sometimes vulgarity can be effective in, like, a horrifying moment, like in the original Exorcist, when you have a Linda Blair saying really horrible shit, and she's, like, 10 or 11 years old. That's shocking. But when you do it like all the time, or it's like that's your only crutch, basically, right? Then it's like it doesn't work. You need to have more on top of that. You need to strengthen that, you know? Like it's like you got your pot to make your stew or whatever, and like instead of like you throw in some seasoning, but that's all you have. But you got to throw in like some meat in there. Otherwise, it's just like seasoned water, which is what just basic vulgarity is. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think to the same extent, the same could be said for not riding just the coattails of your franchise. You know, other movies will try to get that stew going by just going off of references. I'm looking at you, Scream 6. Whereas this one, like other than the Necronomicon being like the through line, this movie had like one big like reference to Evil Dead. And that was just the fact that by the end of the film, Beth had a shotgun and a chainsaw.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know what? They did it so well that when the neighbor, who I'll just call Kendo, when Kendo shows up with his shotgun.
Oh my God.
Brain.
Wait a second. Did we have a Kendo in both Scream 6 and Evil Dead Rise?
Yes, we did. Because Kendo is a time traveler.
Kendo is eternal?
I forgot there were two like husky dudes with shotguns in both movies.
It was handled so well that when he showed up with his shotgun to fight the Deadites, I didn't immediately go, "Oh, there it is. They brought in the boomstick." Because I was just wrapped up in what they were doing. And then, like, after a minute, when Beth grabs it, I went, oh, Beth's got a boomstick now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember very specifically the moment where you went, oh, I see what they're doing.
I clapped when I saw it.
Yes.
But because it was actually handled well. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, the last thing I want to gush on as far as like my shameless love of this movie, this to me is the perfect level and tone of horror and comedy if you have to put the two together.
Yes, agreed.
I fucking adore a scene where Beth is listening to the recording with headphones and they're playing up, you know, the slow encroaching dread of Ellie's in the room. She's crawling down the wall. It's very like Hereditary, how she's like in the background, out of focus. And you're like, oh, it's going to be a big fucking jump scare. And then you see her reflection in the mirror and oh, fuck. And Beth sees her in time and grabs a screwdriver and stabs it into Ellie's neck. And there is a perfectly timed comedic beat of the Deadite just looking at her like, bitch, you did not just stab me with a screwdriver. Smash cut to the clip from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air of the guy getting thrown out the front door screaming.
Yes.
As Beth is just ejected from the recording room.
Yes, that part was great. I think I will say, because I was thinking about this as you guys were talking. My one criticism was very similar to like other horror movies, that I felt like for a lot of the movie there was a lot of me yelling at the characters on screen to fucking like leave, or you know, like don't go in there, or you know, like that sort of thing, where I'm just like, please, like, have a brain, guys. She's like, I know she looks like your mom, but she's literally telling you, mommy's dead now. And you're just like,
mommy's in hell. Okay, I believe you.
Yeah, exactly. Just believe her and like lock her out of the fucking apartment. And they to their credit, they do eventually do that stuff. But there were a lot of scenes where I was just like, she's very close to just being able to just murder all of you. Just fucking use your brains for a second, everybody.
A little bit.
They can't all be as smart as Lawrence Fishburne in Event Horizon when they find the video of the blood orgy scene.
We're leaving.
And he just shuts up. We're leaving. Like, yep, and the movie credits.
Yep. I fucking love that. I use that scene all the time at work too. Like at work, on like, you know, when I'm playing TTRPGs and some fucked up thing happens, I'm just like, Gotta get my Lawrence Fishburne gif in.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What a fucking movie.
But yeah, final thoughts, I guess.
Watch it.
Watch it. Yeah.
My personal favorite of the franchise. It is not. Do not take the trailer at face value. The trailer is not a bad trailer, but it does not sell exactly what this film is.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's got a bonkers third act. Not malignant bonkers, but it's pretty fucking bonkers.
No, but still good.
Yeah, I loved everything about it. Definitely my horror movie of the year so far.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm roughly in the same boat. Yeah, I think it was kind of like the surprise of the year so far, where expected kind of similar to Malignant, expected fucking nothing and got like an absolute treasure. I don't think it's my love is not to the level of Malignant, but I think it's solid. I think you'll enjoy it.
We need more movies like Malignant out
Absolutely,
there.
We do. God damn. If you can get even close, I'm like, good job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to add other than, as an Evil Dead fan who likes the entire franchise, it's another great entry, a strong cast, strong moments of body horror, strong moments of dark comedy. I'm hopeful that it can continue this trend. As far as I know, it did well at the box office, so we'll see what happens with the rest of the franchise if they ever make another one, and if they don't, this is a fine enough movie to cap it off on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Hell yeah.
All right, so I guess what have y'all been up to for the last few weeks?
Oh boy. Well,
Shit.
who?
I'll go first. Yeah, because I actually I did a little more than has been typical lately. I think my past couple of check-ins here on the Gooncast have been I'm playing Honkai Star Rail because cute anime girls and gotcha and waka waka waka. Now, I am still playing Honkai Star Rail.
Yes.
Waka waka.
Every day.
We know.
Every day.
Excellent.
Because it's great. I saw the new Spider-Verse film.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, shit. Okay.
All right. Let me talk about this shit.
Okay, I was gonna say, seems like you have opinions. I plan on seeing it very soon, by the way. So
I'll be totally spoiler free.
Okay, cool.
I am so tired of superhero shit. Period.
Okay,
I get it.
Sure.
I am of that opinion. Yeah. I have very few exceptions. I will go see anything Guardians of the Galaxy because it's just space D&D.
Yes.
So I don't even loop that in with Marvel. And I'll go see anything in this animated Spider-Verse thing they're doing because the first one was just visually breathtaking. It was a fun fucking ride. And it's doing something new and different, which a lot of superhero movies aren't doing. This series now is not afraid to do some wildly different shit, whether it's in its artistic production or the way the animation syncs with music. I'm pretty tired of anything to do with multiverses, with the exception of Wish Upon.
Yeah. Yes.
So I went into the first one just very like, okay, whatever. Saw it in theaters, absolutely loved it. And so naturally, Krista wanted to see this. And I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. First one was great. I'd love to see that in theaters. Yo, this movie fucking rules.
Does it?
It was so good.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to breach into spoiler territory, so I'm going to say what I have to say about it very carefully. It is, in my opinion, an upgrade from the first one, which I already thought was going to be hard to do because the first one has Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir, chewing scenery, drinking egg creams, and punching Nazis.
Yep.
This one introduces the only Spider-Man who I think could give him a run for his money, Cockney Spider-Man, who speaks with such authentic Cockney slang, he needs like subtitles.
Amazing.
It's wonderful. Yeah, it's I'm a sucker for when animation knows how to play in unison with the music backing it. You know, if there's musical beats happening that are in sync with what's being presented to us in the animation, I get like all tingly. I'm like, oh yeah, that's good stuff. And that's what this does really super well. So the new Spider-Verse movie fucking rules.
Amazing.
Even if you're like on superhero burnout like me, if you're just an animation fan, it's splendid.
That's me.
So you will very much enjoy this.
Okay, cool.
And then the last thing I got super up to this week, with the exception of some shared viewing stuff that I know Saber's going to get into, so I'll leave that to the patriarch of the Hack Fraud clan. But I've been playing fucking Street Fighter 6.
Oh, how's that?
Hey, I've been playing Street Fighter 6 as well, kinda.
Oh shit! All right, what are you both thinking?
I want to make sure that this statement comes out as accurately as possible. As of a product on release, so like, you know, we haven't. It's a game that's come out and not needed like a catastrophe fixing day one patch or something. Like as a product that hit the market ready to go. It might be the best fighting game I've ever played.
Cool.
Wow.
And I'm only being careful with that one because there are old school classics that are really, really hard to top. Like, you know, I'm trying to put myself back into like, oh man, you know, playing Tekken 3 for the first time. Fucking masterpiece. Soul Calibur 2. A little imbalanced, but super, super fucking good. This is one of those games that has enough depth and complexity to it that the pro matchups are going to be fantastic to watch, but it does not make you feel like an idiot if you're a casual.
Okay.
You can jump in and just fucking play this. The problem a lot of people have had with Street Fighter throughout the years, as well as other 6-button fighting game setups, is the inputs. If you don't give the time to like labbing, as they call it, when you just go into practice mode and get your shit down, if you can't pull off all the moves, you feel kind of stupid, and then you go to a party and then you get fucking floored by some dude. And you're like, oh man, I never want to play that again because that didn't feel good. This game introduces a new controller setup, a new input system called Modern, which makes it more accessible to do certain special moves and special attacks, with the trade-off being you deal like 20% less damage with them. So it's a way that newer players can jump right in and not feel like there's this big boundary for entry. And it's just kind of a cool different system to play with. So like I'm pretty familiar with 6-button fighters. I play Street Fighter 4 and 5 on an arcade stick. But now with this one, unfortunately, my arcade stick is not PS5 compatible. So I've been having to play Street Fighter 6 on a controller. Which, let me tell you, one of these things is not like the other. And so because of that, I feel like I can't do the inputs very well for the classic setup on a controller. I'm like, I keep fucking up my quarter circle movements. Like my placement matches were complete dog shit. And so I tried out that new Modern control scheme. And I'm like, yo, this is pretty comfy. I can get into this. You know, the damage trade-off is a little bit of like a hurdle, but that's fine. There are some character imbalances, and that's fine. That's always going to happen, and it's always going to fluctuate depending on like what ranking level you are. You know, the early rankings are always going to be filled with the Ryus and the Kens. Cammy saturates like the first few levels of ranking. I don't care. I still shamelessly main her since Street Fighter 4. But then you've got this new asshole named JP who like is a fucking sorcerer, and then as soon as you get into the higher rankings, he's like dominating. So there's some stuff I think they're going to patch numbers wise to make some adjustments, but as far as a product that came out on release, it fucking works, which okay, if you're maybe not that big of a fixture in the fighting game community, the idea of a fighting game with crossplay coming out that has no catastrophic issues on day one is a fucking myth. It is a myth. And since I've been playing this, I've had 0 issues with connectivity. I'm fighting players in Asia and getting great connections as if my opponent were couch co-oping against me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. The single player mode is fun. There's just a lot of content packed into a game. And you know what? Yeah, it's got some microtransactions and some monetizing shit, but it's all stuff you can just get in the story mode. Look, I'm a simple guy. I just want to put my character into the outfit I want.
Yeah.
I like the cami redesign, but I want to have the old school leotard because it's just who I grew up with. And all I had to do was find her in the story mode and get big armfuls of containers of jellied eel and spoon feed them to her while she's going, "This tastes horrible, please stop," but like her reputation level's going up. So I just get her sick on jellied eel, and then she puts on the leotard. And there we go. I didn't need to spend $1. This is the way it's supposed to be, folks.
Okay, well, there you go.
God damn it. So I'm loving it. When we were doing the Gooncast list of favorite games of all time, I said my favorite fighting game was Tekken Tag Tournament. And I think if I go back and I jump into that again, and I also take into account how I felt when I played that back in the day, that might still hold true, because at heart, I'm a Tekken player. But it's really, really hard to turn your nose to this. Street Fighter 6 is a fucking outstanding game.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
I haven't played too much of it. I've mostly been messing around with the World Tour mode, which is this game's a story mode.
Hell yeah.
I'm not super big into fight. Well, I guess before I continue further, for full disclosure purposes, I'm part of the Capcom Creators Program, and I got a free key for Street Fighter 6. So it's like I didn't spend any money on it. I think it's fun. I've been, again, mostly messing around with the story mode, and I'm not a big fighting game fan, so in terms of like the minutia and details, I'm really not the best person to ask. One of the few, I think the last fighting game that I was able to get into fairly substantially was the 2013 Killer Instinct, which I fucking adore. And still nothing has kind of come close to that. But the story mode has a lot of big, goofy Yakuza energy, which is fun. I'm a little mildly annoyed with like how it's doing its season pass in regards to like how many characters you get compared to like Street Fighter 5. It seemed like you're getting less, and I think it costs the same amount, which is, I get it, game dev is expensive, but just for an average consumer, it kind of sucks. But I will side with Lee on that. The fact that, like, yeah, there's microtransactions for currency and to get like unlockables and stuff like that faster. But the fact that like you don't have to do unnecessary grinding to unlock a character's classic outfit. I greatly appreciate that. You just have to spend time in the story mode. You meet the character in the story mode. You look up what their preferred gifts are. You buy those preferred gifts with in-game currency that you can't buy, that you earn by playing the game. And it's not too expensive. And then you just give them enough gifts and you get the costume without actually having to spend any fucking real-world money on it.
That's awesome.
And I really like that. I've been very worried about that sort of thing because, like, one of the last major AAA fighting games that I kind of picked up because the launch trailer suckered me in with nostalgia was Mortal Kombat 11. And that game is a rank piece of shit. Especially in terms of, like, a casual fighting game fan where it's like, I just want to unlock cool costumes and maybe do the story mode and play offline with AI. And that game is riddled with disgusting amounts of microtransactions and loot boxes and FOMO. Like, even if you wanted to say, okay, I just want to buy Scorpion's classic costume. Well, you fucking can't. You buy the currency, and then you have to fucking wait for the daily store rotation and hope that it pops up, because this game has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of fucking items. And it may never fucking pop up in the store. So you have to keep playing it or booting it up religiously to get this shit. It's like, fuck that, I have a fucking life. Eat a dick, WB. Eat a dick, NetherRealm.
Your rant made me just realize something that I adore about the way this franchise is going that Mortal Kombat did not do, which is, okay, new fighting game, you need the new characters.
Yeah.
Okay, Street Fighter 6, who we got? Okay, so they're big on doing the World Warriors. You need characters from different parts of the world representing their flavor. Okay, you've got Manon, who is a French chick who does like ballet fighting. Awesome. You got Maritza, who's this big Italian juggernaut who is all about like Greek themes, and she's
her entire character arc is I want to fuck Zangief, and I applaud that.
Basically. And then, like, you know, you've got T-Hawk's daughter, who's a total badass, like, you know, younger, like, feisty little kid with tomahawks. It's like, this is cool. And then Mortal Kombat was like, hey, man, you want some new characters? And we're like, yeah, NetherRealm, please. Who you got? Okay, here's Kotal Khan. He's the new badass. He's this big Aztec juggernaut. We're like, yeah, please give me more of him. No, you fucking nerd. We're going to job him out in a wheelchair to Shao Kahn. What are you thinking?
Hey, KK in a wheelchair. He's going to be rolling over your grave, Lee.
We're not going to let the new characters be cool, you fucking idiot. Pick Sub-Zero like you're supposed to.
Except for Devora, because she gets to fucking actually kill Scorpion, because fuck you, the worst fucking new character, this horrible, awful bug lady, and she fucking murders Scorpion. Eat a dick. It should have been Noob.
Street Fighter, at least, like, it gives some breathing room and some respect to the new characters, and Mortal Kombat is just like, I don't know, here's a fucking cowboy. Yeah, what does he do?
Here's Aaron
He's got
Black.
A gun. What's his part in the storyline? I don't fucking know. Pick Scorpion. Okay. I'm sorry.
and even then, like mechanically between each fucking Mortal Kombat game, like the last 3, character movesets and how the game functions fucking changes, so it's like you can't even remain consistent. And it's like, again, they ruined the fucking crypt. Like, again, I'm a casual fighting game fan. I just want to play the game and unlock some shit and, like, unlock classic costumes. If you want to, I hate fucking microtransactions, but if you want to fucking include shitty microtransactions, don't make it overpowering. And don't fucking include fucking FOMO. I have a life. Mm-hmm. I am not going to boot up the fucking game every fucking day for a full fucking year. If I want to spend my actual money to buy the costume that I want, because it's going to take thousands of hours in RNG to unlock normally. Like, I ain't got time for this shit.
No, I'll only do that for Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah, so like the fact that I can unlock like Ryu or Cammy or Chun-Li or Ken's classic outfits with just minimal effort in story mode. Like, you have to unlock them, and it takes a little bit of time. But it is not like thousands of hours. It's not RNG. Mm-hmm. It's solid.
No, I was enjoying the story mode. From the time that I started playing it to the time that I finished getting Cammy's reputation to full to get her costume, I think I played story mode 5 hours?
Yeah, something like that.
It's not a lot.
I've streamed, and because you gotta wait until you meet Cammy, and that's fine. But like, let's see, Street Fighter 6, because I haven't.
You get her in Chapter 7.
Yeah, I finished the requirements for her off stream, but I'm gonna get her costume on stream. But like, I've streamed roughly about 5 hours at the story mode, and that's how long it took. And I think I met Cammy about 4 hours in. Yeah. Maybe 4.5. And it's like, I still already could have started working towards unlocking Luke's classic costume, or Chun-Li's classic costume, or Blanca's. Like, this isn't some time-consuming process. And it's like, I appreciate that. You're not wasting my fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, kudos to that.
The player.
Kudos to that. And you know, I applaud Capcom for that. As a casual fighting game fan, it's fine. It's fun. Lee gives it a rearing thumbs up. Yeah, go play it.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, no, this is from the guy who I know we don't do video feeds on the Gooncast here, but this is coming from a guy who fills his desk with the anime figures, and I'm looking at 2 different statues of Cammy, and I've got a T-shirt of Cammy. Like, this is my fucking girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hell yeah!
This game is raging success.
There you go.
Nice. Awesome.
That was my week.
Cool. James, do you want to go next, or should I?
I have a fair bit, so like you could probably go first.
I also have a fair bit, but yeah, I will. I'll try to keep it brief, because I mentioned this the last time we recorded, but now it actually happened. I was in Japan.
Hey.
Last week. So yeah, my husband and I finally took our honeymoon after like 2 years of being married. So we went to we were in Tokyo, and we were also in a place called Kusatsu, which is like an onsen. It's known for like hot springs, and basically just going there to like relax. And we had like an absolutely insane jam-packed week. Took tons of pictures. I had really weird jet lag, so like I kept waking up at 4 a.m. But it was actually really fun, because then we could just like, I woke up and Will was up, and we were both just like, do you want to just go walk around? So we were just like walking around like an empty Shinjuku and just like exploring, and it was such a blast. So I have a bunch of pictures of like, actually like the sun is up, so it's like it's brightly lit, but there's nobody around. And these are places where, like, you know, middle of the day, it is packed. There's like a huge fucking crowd. So it was really cool. And yeah, we bought a bunch of souvenirs for people. We bought a bunch of gifts, and a bunch of gifts for ourselves too. And yeah, it was a really good time. And I haven't taken a vacation in like 5 years.
Which character is on the body pillow that you bought me? And please tell me it's 9-Ball Seraph.
I'm not telling you.
Joke's on you. It's gacked.
It's gagged.
Oh,
it's gagged.
no.
James got it right. James got it in one. No. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But yeah, so Japan was great. And then in addition, obviously I've still done a lot of like media consumption, so I'll just kind of like rattle off some things that I've been doing here and there. For movies, outside of watch parties with these lovely goons, and with the lovely Goon Squad
watch
parties, I watched John Wick 4.
Yes.
And Creed 3.
Yes.
And both were amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
I also love both of those.
Yeah. John Wick 4 was probably my favorite of the franchise, except for the first one. I really liked the tribute they had to Lance Reddick. It made me cry.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the whole film. I liked the vibe of it. It also had a bit of comedy element to it. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but Lee, do you remember the stairs?
Oh my god. That was the longest and most beautiful action sequence.
I was dying of laughter because I kept thinking, there can't be more people to throw down the stairs.
Oh, there are.
And every time I thought that, I was wrong.
Endless goons.
It was so fucking funny. Oh, and there was a really great shot that was I know I heard mention of people saying it was a reference to Hotline Miami, or like the top-down shooter genre.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was dope.
Like the flame tongue shotgun.
Yes. I was like, wow, that was, what a shot, you know, like it was great. And then
I want to hear your thoughts on Creed 3.
Yes. Creed 3, obviously, I heard it was really good. I had been very, hesitant to watch it because of the allegations against the, Jonathan Majors. Yeah. And I was just kind of like, okay, fine, I'm gonna it's on the plane, it's free, I'm not, giving them money, so I'm just gonna watch it. And yeah, it was just brilliant. I don't know what's going on with that stuff with him. And I hate to say this kind of thing because I'm just very much for me, it's the same with the Kevin Spacey stuff where it's he hasn't been, officially accused of stuff, but I still am very creeped out by, I'm just I don't want to support him. I don't want to watch his movies and be he's a great actor, even though I do think he's a great actor. It's just and Jonathan Majors kind of feels the same way where I'm just I don't want to support him, but damn, does he gonna do a good job in this movie?
I'm so there with you.
Yeah.
I have been so torn on that because I shit you not, 2 months before the allegations came out, I was having a conversation with Krista saying, I think this guy might be one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good. So it's yeah, it's
monkey's paw curls.
Yeah. It's a shame. And Michael B. Jordan, fantastic job. I think he directed too, right?
Yeah, it was the first time that basically Sly took all his hands off of it except for producing credits maybe.
Yeah.
And just said, all right, Michael, run with it. And that was kind of the weird judgment I had to put it through was up until I love Creed 1, it's great. Creed 2 fucked really hard because of the nostalgia factor.
Okay.
Of having Dolph Lundgren and all that. And then I thought, okay, how am I going to like a Creed movie that officially now has absolutely nothing to do with Sly Stallone? And I adore it. It's so good. Yeah,
I have not seen the previous 2 movies, and I really haven't seen much of the Rocky franchise. So yeah, this was purely a I heard this movie was really good. I'm just gonna check it out with no context. And it's
check out the first 2; they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
That's kind of
but
been.
Yeah, I mean, and I love the anime references too.
Sorry.
Michael B. Jordan threw in a lot of anime references, and they were glorious. Go ahead, James.
I still need to see Creed 3. I want to, but one of the things that has been kind of outside of the Jonathan Majors stuff, one of the things that's kind of been keeping me from that was just my own hesitation of just the fact that Rocky isn't even in it. I know it's I want it to be, it's about Adonis Creed and everything like that, but I don't want to get too much into spoilers, but Creed 1 and maybe even potentially Creed 2 had options to have Rocky exit the franchise. But they didn't take it. So it's the fact that he's absent just seems strange to me, and just it felt weird. I mean, I still want to see it, but just it felt weird that he's not here anymore for some arbitrary reason.
Honestly, I don't think you'll feel the absence. I didn't feel like there was a missing piece when I was watching it. I knew there were references to the previous films and stuff.
Yeah. Sure.
But the heart of the movie is the relationship between the main character and Jonathan Majors' character. And that takes such a forefront that I felt that that was the whole movie.
Okay.
It didn't feel sorry.
Sly doesn't go missing because it's also just the progression I felt of the trilogy that the bird was ready to leave the nest.
Sure. Yes. It didn't feel like it didn't feel like it felt like Sly could still be somewhere in the universe. It's just that he wasn't part of this particular story. That's what it felt like to me more than we need to kill him off so that this character can grow. It's no, he wasn't part of what happened here.
Sure. And that's just my own apprehension of just I kind of wish they gave
totally
him
understandable
an exit and whatnot, as opposed to I get it, but it's just as somebody who loves the franchise, except for 5, we don't talk about 5. Just the idea of a Rocky movie without Rocky feels weird, Sure. And granted, it's Creed,
it's not a Rocky movie,
but Yeah.
Yeah. So then to get into video games. So I have officially beaten the story, the campaign for Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I still have a lot of
briefly about this.
Yes. I still have a lot of cleanup to do. But I come at this where like I've played Zelda games before. I like Zelda games. It's a good franchise. It's a solid franchise. I really liked Breath of the Wild because I felt like the series kind of grew up a little bit with Breath of the Wild. It felt like the whole premise of the story is that you wake up to a world in mourning, effectively, because thousands of years ago, the champions that were meant to save the world failed. And they all died. And Zelda failed. And, like, basically it was all she could do to save you and to maybe hope that hundreds of years later we could do this again and actually succeed. And, like, digging into kind of, like, her apprehension about, like, she hasn't been able to unlock her powers as, like, the Sage of Wisdom. Like, she can't do it. And then, like, she doesn't. And her failure to do that is effectively what causes the death of, like, all of these people that were counting on her. And it's such a solid story. Like, and it really makes Zelda, like, at the forefront of it. And I loved it so much. And Tears of the Kingdom kind of goes back to a lot of Zelda tropes. So it goes back to, like, you gotta gather all the sages together and you gotta go defeat Ganon. And it's just kind of like, okay, it's a little bit back to basics, you know? I think there's a lot of good things with it. I think that, like, it has very similar vibes to Breath of the Wild. Zelda's story is still heartbreaking. She's still at the center of it. It's still, like, really solid there. The game is amazingly interactive. There are so many things in the world that you can just fucking do. Like, look at all the things you can do in our game, except the only way you can actually interact with the game is by shooting things or by, you know, pressing contextual buttons on things. Like, it's like the games look gorgeous, but they're stiff. And Zelda is just like, well, our game doesn't look the best of any game out there, but my god, if you want to slap a Korok onto a rocket and launch him into space, you can. You know, like, it's like that kind of shit where it's just like, yeah, they know how to make it fun. But with it came a lot of bad. I thought a lot of the boss fights were very samey. Like a lot of the combat is interesting when you have the freedom to just, like, use your whole arsenal. But a lot of the bosses are just like, figure out the gimmick of the boss and then counter that gimmick like 4 times. And it's just kind of like, okay, you know, it's like, and I also thought a lot of the dungeons were too long and repetitive in the same way, where it was just like, you figure out how to get one key thing in, and then it's like, cool, now you have to find the other 4 keys. And I'm like, okay, like, you know, like, cool, great. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed myself. So I still give it a pretty solid score. Like, I had a blast. I'm still gonna clean up a lot of stuff and just, like, run around and just kind of vibe with the game. I feel like this is a very good vibe game. Yeah, and I dug it. So
fuck yeah.
The other game that I have been meaning to play, but I actually haven't gotten back to yet, and I wanted to give an update on it because it kind of disappointed me in this way. Was Firmament. Because I found out while I was in Japan, and while I couldn't play it, I found out that apparently the developers used a lot of AI tools in their work process. And what that means, because I did dig into it, because I was just like initially the headlines were just like, they used AI, and it's just like, okay, what the fuck does that mean? You know, like, because I know that.
What does that mean these days?
Exactly, because Robin Miller, I know, is, like, a big fan of, like, Midjourney and, like, Stable Diffusion. Like, he does a lot of just like on his Twitter, he's been doing a lot of, like, little prompts where he's just like, I'm gonna make little art things with, like, Midjourney or whatever. And I am very anti AI, especially AI art, especially like ChatGPT stuff that takes jobs away from real creators, stuff that scrapes from the internet and steals their work to then turn around and like regurgitate it. Like,
preach.
Yeah, I don't like that. So it was frankly disappointing to see Robin Miller doing that. Now, what he does in his free time, I don't have any control over, right? Like if somebody wants to fuck around with Midjourney or Stable Diffusion, I don't care. Like if you just want to make goofy shit or like whatever, I don't care. But when it comes into a commercial product, that's when I start to get like not okay with that. So, and Robin Miller was very like, it's not going to be part of the thing, and then it ended up being part of the thing. So what I found out was that the AI work that was done was tool assisting on like voice tuning for the voice acting, which is kind of weird. And also, the voice actors are not credited, which according to Cyan Worlds is because the voice actors specifically requested it, because it's not professional voice actors, it's like people in the company doing the voice acting, which does have historical precedence because Cyan Worlds has historically used like their own staff as the actors, as the characters in the game. Like, famously, Atris is just, Rand Miller. The two brothers are Rand and Robin. It's that kind of stuff where it's just like, yeah, okay, like you've done that before. I kind of buy that, but also like hearing that there was voice editing done with AI made a lot of people think they bought AI voices, which apparently is not the case. But then I did hear that like there was some art that was generated via AI, so some of the like decals, and also some of the writing was generated via AI. And to like a lot of the lore stuff that you'll find in the world. And to me, that's kind of sucked a lot of the enjoyment out of, because a lot of my enjoyment in Myst was finding the bits of narrative, piecing the narrative together, and having it be this handcrafted thing that tied into the narrative of the story, it being that these worlds are all handcrafted, that,
Right. It loses some of the emotional gravitas if it's coming just from like
exactly
zeros and ones.
Exactly. And I think I'm too far in to like get a refund, and I don't necessarily want to get because I'm just like, I love this dev team, but I do want to say that I am incredibly disappointed in the decision of leadership to do this. Like I think that I would much rather see the game be smaller and have less content than to know that some of that content had to be made with AI. Like it bums me out. So yeah, that's so I don't know if I'm going to finish Firmament at this point. I hope I want to. I still want to see, but a lot of my enthusiasm for playing it has gotten kind of destroyed, frankly.
Damn. That's a bummer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I'll update y'all if I do go back to it. So, and then the one other thing I wanted to mention before tossing over Saber is that I decided to pick up like reading again. I kind of I haven't basically like I haven't been reading for quite a bit. I sort of started a little bit like earlier in the year, but like fell off it. I kind of made it like a New Year's resolution type thing where I was like, yeah, I need to read more. But then I didn't, and now I'm like, no, you know what? I need to read more. So I actually ended up starting with I've reread a book that is probably one of my favorite books of all time. I don't know if it's my favorite book, but it's definitely top 10. It's a book called Slights by Karen Warren. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce her first name. It's Kaaron. So she's an Australian author. The book is about it follows a young woman for like 15 years of her life or something like that. And at the start of the book, she experiences she dies effectively and comes back. So she has like a near-death experience. And when she dies, she goes to this room where she sees a bunch of people that she's known in life who basically like torture and like mutilate her for like hours on end, and she's like so confused by like what the fuck this is. And slowly over the years, as she kind of like continues to grapple with this experience, she starts getting curious if other people also have a room that they go to when they die. So it's effectively about the birth of a serial killer. And the main character, her name is Stevie, and she is a fascinating character because, and the way that Karin wrote her character is fascinating because she feels so real, because you get very much a sense that like as she's writing it to basically like, or like, you know, the things she's writing are very much like putting herself in a good light. Like she's very like, I'm not like other girls, or like, you know, like I like that kind of thing. But like it feels very unreliable narrator in some ways. Like where it's like, you know how like a lot of times people will, if they're telling you a story, they will make themselves seem better than they really were in the story, right? Like we all have kind of the instinct to sort of like, you know,
be a little bit of an unreliable narrator.
Exactly. To sort of adjust our adjust the telling to make ourselves seem better or make ourselves feel better. And yeah, like you get that when you read it. Like she is an unmitigated asshole. And like I don't even think necessarily that you sympathize with her, but you do like you find this like context for her, and like you hear the way she talks about other people, and you realize that like, you know, like in their actions that she's describing, you're like, these people actually care about her and she hates them, you know, and you're just like, this is like, there's, you know, like, because basically like as she comes to realize that the people in her room are people that she's slighted, and like you come to kind of learn that like through as she discovers it, that like it's all of this stuff, you know, stuff that's kind of like in her own head, right? Where it's like, this is not necessarily how people think of you, but it's, you know, how you think other people think of you. And it's a fascinating book. I highly recommend it. There's like, yeah, there's just something about her, the writer's voice that comes through really clearly and really compellingly. And it's got good horror. I love it a lot, you know, like, and you know, again, obviously I it kind of like we talked about with Scream, like I like the kind of like where it's like, you know, becoming a serial killer kind of story, where it's like you kind of just like this descent into madness. It's like that's the kind of thing that I would have liked to see more embraced by the Scream movies, if that's, you know, the character you're going to have. It's like, well, because without spoiling the book too much, that kind of comes up in slights, but you know, it's, yeah. And then after I finished that, I started a book that was on my radar for a really long time, and I ended up picking it up like last year, and just started reading it though. It's a book called The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. Yeah, you know this one? Yeah, have you read it?
No, but it was recommended to me. I didn't get around to it though.
Okay, I think you would like it actually. I was going to say of everyone, I'm like, I feel like Lee would dig this. So far it's really good. I'm only like a quarter of the way through, I think. But I'm really compelled so far. I think if I had a criticism, my one criticism is that and this is purely a like my preference thing, is not a like this is bad writing. It's just like a, hey, I prefer it when writers do this. He tends to be a little run-on with his sentences when he's talking about like descriptions. Okay. Yeah, so his dialogue is like so like zingy and like just like really like feels like it's in the voice of these characters. His dialogue is brilliant. And his descriptions are brilliant too. It's just that the way he structures the sentences that deliver them tend to just like kind of get me in more of a like zone me out kind of mode instead of, you know, compel me kind of mode. I
get what you mean. As a Hemingway fan, this might be right up my alley.
Yes, exactly. Like, yeah. So I've gotten used to it now. I think like initially I was kind of like, this is not really like, I prefer it when people tend to vary their sentence structure a little more in descriptions. he doesn't, but I'm at this point kind of like, yeah, okay, I dig what he's doing. I dig where he's going, and I'm compelled enough by his plot and his characters and everything else going on that I'm willing to kind of like adjust my sensibilities a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and I'll let y'all know what I think when I finish it. But so far so good.
Yeah, please do keep me updated on that one because I'm curious.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's pretty much it for me.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
For me, let's see here. I went through Amnesia: The Bunker.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which was it's pretty neat. It's
okay.
The second best Amnesia game. Granted, that's not really saying much. I hated A Machine for Pigs, and I gave up on Amnesia Rebirth because there's nothing to turn me off of a horror game faster than endless, non-stop, fucking useless hint dialogue, which sucks me out of the fucking atmosphere as I'm trying to soak in the horror. Amnesia: The Bunker throws away all that. There's very little dialogue outside of a couple scenes at the beginning of the game and some audio logs that you can find. Not really audio logs, but like notes that actually have voice acting. It kind of takes it's trying to like do something a little bit new with the formula, where it's not just wander around the environment and solve like environmental puzzles. It's still plenty of that, but like you're given a fixed objective. That is to escape the bunker because there's a spooky monster down there. And for context, you're a French soldier in the middle of World War I. You're trapped in this French bunker, and there's a horrible spooky monster going around, and the entrance has been sealed shut by Command because the second the monster showed up, Command booked it out and decided to blow up the entrance to keep the monster inside, despite the fact that there were still countless soldiers inside. So you're kind of like trapped, and you have to find TNT and a detonator in order to escape. You vaguely know where the TNT and the detonator is, but you need to collect various tools in order to reach said locations, right? So you basically can explore the bunker and complete any objective in any order that you want, because it's drawing influence from immersive sims like Deus Ex or System Shock, where it's like you have this. It's not really open world, but it's like a free-form, small, contained environment. You can kind of like do whatever the hell you want. And most puzzles have multiple different solutions, and it's entirely based on you how you want to figure this out and like do stuff, right? So like, let's say you find a wooden door and it's locked. There could be an alternate path to like get inside, and you open up a vent and get in there, or you can just blow up the fucking door and get in faster. But of course the drawback is if you make noise, the monster will hear you and will immediately come to that fucking area. So you have to kind of like ration your supplies, like every single decision you make, every single bullet you fire, every single Molotov you throw, etc. It's a strategic decision that you have to make on your part. It's very anxiety-inducing. It's the fun kind of stressful. Of just like, I have to make these decisions. You have to keep the... it makes it easier to navigate and a little safer to keep the lights on, but in order to keep the lights on, you have to like fuel up the generator, and the generator drains super fucking quickly. But you can also use that same fuel to like maybe burn stuff away or scare away the monster. So it's up to you on how you want to do it. I got minor complaints in regards to just your flashlight battery dies way too quickly and the fuel drains a little too quickly. Some instances of just when the monster pops up gets a little grating, kind of like Alien Isolation, just based on the dynamic AI. But for the most part, it's a solid experience, and it doesn't outstay its welcome. And because it's like pickups in terms of like fuel canisters and ammo and stuff like that, and also the locker codes that hide the various tools. That's all procedurally generated, so it allows for a deeper like replay and shit like that. It's solid. It took me about 4 hours to complete. It's pretty fun.
I liked a criticism that was offered by a friend of the Gooncast, Emu, who said that it is very difficult to set a monster horror piece during World War I because you need to immediately make that monster more terrifying than the nature of World War I itself.
Yes.
And I found that idea fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's actually a super good point. It's like, I'd kind of rather fight the rampaging hell beast than like get shot and be face down in a trench until I bleed out.
Or slowly suffocate because of the effects of mustard gas.
Mustard gas,
right.
yeah.
Like, give me a knife and the hell beast. I'll go out swinging.
Yeah.
Next up that I'll just briefly touch upon is I played the Final Fantasy 16 demo. I was cautiously optimistic about Final Fantasy 16. I'm not an MMO guy, so I haven't played Final Fantasy 14, but by all accounts, Yoshi P is supposed to be a very talented dev and producer, and he's the one spearheading Final Fantasy 16. I haven't liked the bulk of this franchise since 12. 12 was the last game that I enjoyed. For me, it's just been a constant string of fucking disappointments. And from the gameplay to the writing to everything. After playing the demo, I'm very, 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 very. I'm trying to like temper my expectations so I don't get too hyped and get disappointed. But like, this is the first time I've been kind of excited about a Final Fantasy game in fucking years. The writing and characters are on point. It's surprisingly dark and grim. It's kind of going for more tonally closer to like Game of Thrones, which is a little bizarre for Final Fantasy. But it works. Combat feels very Devil May Cry-esque, which also makes sense considering that the lead combat designer is a lead combat designer from Devil May Cry. So it's the first time I've liked combat in an FF Final Fantasy game, action-focused Final Fantasy game in years. Additionally, they apparently had development support from Platinum Games to fine-tune the combat. So it's like, fuck yes, do that. Thank you. Stop doing the Kingdom Hearts floaty shit. Only negatives about the combat so far is that periodically through the boss battles, there are these cinematic evades and cinematic attacks that are basically just QTEs. And I'm so fucking sick of QTEs. They didn't pop up too much, so I'm hoping they don't, like, ruin the overall game experience. I'd just rather them be cut entirely and just let it be me dodging or me... Like, it's interrupting my fun of the combat to watch some fucking cinematic where I have to fucking press a button, right? But so far, you know, it's a solid little thing. In terms of other shit, immersive sim stuff, I'm not too far in it, but the System Shock remake finally came out. I've played it for about 4 hours now, I think. It's really fucking solid. It's right up my alley. I've never played the original System Shock, but when I beat it, I'll probably have more to say about it. But, like, I backed this on Kickstarter fucking almost 7 years ago, I think. So to actually have it, it's really cool. I'm happy about that.
Nice.
Liza P demo. It's pretentious Bloodborne with Pinocchio flavored. It feels off. I might play it when the full game drops at some point, but I'm more muted on it. Everybody else like, oh my god, it's like Bloodborne. It's like, I think you guys are just starved for 60 frames a second Bloodborne, that you're just eating up Liza P.
Yeah.
Like, it has, for loading, instead of now loading, it says now lying. It's like, I get it. It's Pinocchio. Fucking cut it out. In terms of a surprisingly fun romp, we all watched the Dead or Alive movie last night. The one based on the video game. I had always heard it's... Thank you, Cam. I always heard it was a piece of shit. I mean, yeah, it's a bad movie, but it's a fun bad movie. It knows it's dumb. It knows it is dumb. And it's just having fun. And like, if you can get past... If you can enjoy that style of movie, where it's just fight scenes and bikini-clad babes... Yeah, you're gonna have fun with
Kevin
it.
Nash.
And Kevin Nash and Eric Roberts. Yeah, it's a fun little movie. It's a fun little movie.
It was way more fun than it had any right to be.
Absolutely. I mentioned in the chat when we were talking about it because I was like, it's stupid, but it knows it's stupid. And that's the fun part.
Yeah, it's not trying to be anything better.
It had a whole scene where it was like showing that a character was crushing on another character, set to the like Looney Tunes like love music, and I was just like sold.
Yeah, it's
this movie knows what it is.
Yeah, it's a delightfully stupid little movie, and it was fun. In terms of another new movie rewatch, I saw last week SLC Punk for the first time. That was on Greedy's recommendation. We did sort of a double feature between that and Eternal Sunshine and the Spotless Mind. Didn't we follow it up with... Yeah, no, we followed it up with Cyberbully, which is...
No, really?
Yeah, no, we followed both of those up with Cyberbully.
I actually haven't seen SLC Punk, but Haggerty said it was great. So
yeah, it's not super my type of movie because I don't really dig on the punk scene all that much, but like it's well acted, mostly well written, and it has a surprisingly impactful third act.
That's what Haggerty said too. Yeah. Which I'm a sucker for a good third act. So,
and Matthew Lillard in top form.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard in top form.
Sold.
Yeah. So I would also give that a recommendation. In terms of Cyberbully,
nice.
Cyberbully is a delightfully terrible movie that is so fucking tone
Cyberbully,
deaf.
10 out of 10.
it's so tone deaf and borderline offensive in what it's like. Its message is good, like what it wants to try to convey is good. Cyberbullying's bad. But this movie is so fucking tone deaf, but it's funny because of it. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, in full disclosure, I received a key for this game from Keymailer. Is a new little horror game called Killer Frequency. You play as a radio DJ in 1987 in this small town. And the cops have been incapacitated, and there's a serial killer on the loose. So you're basically acting as a makeshift 911 dispatch as you're broadcasting your late-night radio program while help is on the way. It's going to take them about 4 hours to get to your town, right? Because this is a small town. There's like only 3 cops, and one of them's on vacation. One of them just got fucking murdered by the killer, and the other one... Their situation is dependent on whether or not you're able to successfully give them advice on how to evade the fucking killer, because that's the bulk of the game. You're trapped in your radio station, and you're giving callers advice on how to elude the killer based on what they tell you, and based on what you can find in your radio station. So, like, it's a bunch of basically puzzle situations where you have to give, like, the correct advice. Like, for example, there's one instance where somebody's trapped in this burning building, right? And you're trying to figure out who you should call, who could be, like, the best person to reach them. So you actually have to look at this map of the town that's on there. And there's a note, there's construction here. And you have to pinpoint, okay, these 3 people live in these 3 locations. Who would have the quickest route to get there and avoid the road closure in order to save this person? Or there's another instance where there's a group of teens, right? And they're all like trapped by the killer. And it turns out they happen to be friends with this intern who works at the radio station. And your intern, she's like out of town or something like that. And you rummage through her desk and you find this little personality quiz that she made. And lots most likely to do this, most likely to do that, most likely to fail at this. And you have to use that information to get the teens to do specific aspects of a plan in order to try to keep everybody alive. So it's like, okay, this person, it says, this person would probably pass their driver's test on the first try. Okay, this person's going to drive the getaway vehicle. Or this person would be most likely to win a foot race. They're going to be the distraction. Right? And it's
cute.
Really clever, cute little circumstances of just trying to like figure out how to do shit. There's another instance where somebody is trapped at the town's hedge maze and they're in the center because they were supposed to meet a date and the killer's there. And it happens to be that your secretary is a big fan of that hedge maze, and she has a map. So you have to look at the map and guide the person based off of the various landmarks in the hedge maze to get out. And it's
That's
fun.
really cool.
Yeah. I don't know how much replay value this game will have. Like, I know there's different scenarios, like, based on like who lives and who dies. But as far as I know, the solutions to the puzzles are the same on every playthrough. So once you know what you're doing, subsequent playthroughs might not be the best. But like for a first-time playthrough, I really fucking dug it. I got very engrossed. It has very strong writing, very strong characters, very strong voice acting. It dips its toes into horror comedy in elements, because it's very much a send-up of like 80s slasher films. Like, there's this running gag where there's this local pizza parlor run by some asshole named Ponty. And he's this Irish dude. And he keeps calling up the station.
Is that a Pontypool reference?
It might be. This whole game is packed full of fucking horror movie references.
Awesome.
And he keeps calling up the station to try to promote his pizza parlor to get free promotion, despite the fact that you're trying to keep the lines clear in case people need it. And he'll keep calling in under fake voices in order to try to trick you to keep him on the air longer. And it's cute. It's a neat little running gag, and it does make sense, because it's like, yeah, there totally would be dumbasses who waste your fucking time as you're trying to, like, no, I need to keep the lines open so I can fucking rescue people. It's like, oh, everybody's listening because there's a killer. This is a good time to promote my pizza parlor, Yeah. It's fun, and it has some really effective horror moments, most of which is off screen, right? But there's this great little moment where it's like almost blink if you miss it, where you have to go outside the radio station to find something, right? And at the other end of the alley is the killer. But, like, it's far enough away where you might miss it, and they don't play a stinger, and the killer is just kind of watching you and then just walks away. And it's like, it's creepy, because, like, your character doesn't comment on it because your character didn't notice it. But you, the player, might have noticed it. It's like, oh, fuck. And the fact that they didn't do a loud, stupid violin stinger is what makes it effective.
I love that kind of shit. I love that kind of, like, barely off-screen shit, or, like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and there's a lot of little clues, too, that will allow you to potentially predict who the killer is before the big reveal. And it's a very, very satisfying ending.
You mean the way a good mystery should?
Yeah. Right? It's a fun game.
When they're not trying to, like, subvert your expectations.
It's apparently a remake of a 2019 game. The studio's Team 17, and I guess one of the members of Team 17 back in 2019 participated in like a game jam, and they cranked out a short little. I think the original takes like 40 minutes to an hour to complete. A short little horror game, and based on this concept, and then it was so well received that Team 17 basically decided to flesh it out into a full-fledged product at this point. And that's what I played, and it's really fucking solid, and it's one of the best little indie horror games or smaller scale horror games that I played in I don't know how long, because like so much of these games are just like walking sims or jump scare simulators, or have like all sorts of jank and in bad writing, or just super edgy gore, and like this is an effective teen-rated horror game that is just well written and fun to solve. And
Sabs, what about the remake of Layers of Fear?
I haven't played it yet.
Aren't you gonna play the remake of Layers of Fear? The game that got a remake after being out for like 5 fucking years.
If I can get a free key or somebody gifts it to me, sure. I'm not buying Layers of Fear. I'm not spending money on that. It's a walking sim horror game with fucking loud jump scare noises. I don't want to waste my time on that.
The kids love it.
I don't care. I like horror games, but I want fucking gameplay. And walking around in a spooky house as violin stingers pop out and like spooky ghost runs by is not scary or interesting. I'm here for the mechanics. if you're going to do that, then you need to have strong writing. And just based on the little I've seen of the original Layers of Fear and a lot of Bloober Team's other work, they're not necessarily adept in the writing front.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Go play Killer Frequency. Don't play Layers of Fear, probably. I don't know. I think the original game came out in 2013, actually, but still, it's when did it come out? Layers of Fear wiki.
I feel it's more recent than that.
No, God, it's even worse. It's 2016.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I wasn't too far off.
Yeah, like, and there was Layers of Fear 2 that came out in 2019. And now we're getting a fucking remake of Layers of Fear. Fucking 7 years. Come on. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. Just make it fucking Layers of Fear 3. God damn it. Or don't. I don't care. Anyways, that's all I got. That's all I got on this fucking... I don't want to talk about Layers of Fear.
I am Goat Boy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
All right.
Any closing remarks, sentiments, stock tips, recipes?
Scream 6 sucks. Don't watch it.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're gonna watch one of 2 horror franchise movies that we talked about, watch Evil Dead Rise.
Or just watch
Pretty
Malignant.
Good.
Or watch Malignant again.
Yeah.
Listen,
let's get real here. You come to us at the Gooncast for the straight talk.
Yes.
Just go watch Wish Upon again.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Do your outros.
Yeah, I've been Cat, aka the Attack Cat. You can find me as the Attack Cat on Twitch. I haven't streamed in a very long time, but you can catch me on Saber's channel doing Elden Ring. I think at some point we're gonna do Resident Evil 6 again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We're doing stuff over there. So
yeah,
doing all kinds of stuff. That's right, motherfuckers. It's been Lee Alder, the Valley Jester. I have been occasionally, maybe once a week, kind of streaming on my channel, twitch.tv/Valley Jester.
Hell yeah.
Doing some light Honkai Star Rail here and there.
Mm-hmm.
There might be some FF16 streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Might be.
Okay.
And I've also been getting a certain bug biting me a little bit, and I'm gonna see if I give in. I'm gonna see if I want to stream it. I might hit up a playthrough of Other Side.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I would love to watch that. Definitely.
So
Definitely let me know, because that was the one you wanted to do a video essay on, right?
Yes, it was.
Yes. I'm very intrigued. I remember that being on one of your top lists. So.
Oh yeah, fucking stellar game. It was in my top 10 of the first Golden Rockos. Mm-hmm. And its antagonist, the child, is in my top 10 antagonist list.
That's right. Yes.
It slaps. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
Jam?
I'm James, also known as Saber0307. You know where I am. Get fucked.
Goodbye, everybody.
Inside us all, there are 2 wolves, and they're both Billy Loomis.
Yeah.